Hello and welcome along to another Where's My KitBag podcast here, hosted by your three lovely media technicians of the Sixth Form College Farmer. It's me, James.
It's me, Steve.
It's me, Carolina.
We're back. More podding, more inane banter and chatter, as per usual.
Have you figured out how close we
Hello.
are to episode 100 yet?
No.
Damn.
This could be it. We have no idea.
That would be a...
No, I don't think so. I think it was like episode 6 or 7 or 8 or something.
if it was if we miss episode 100.
If it was, then I apologise profusely. But I don't think so.
No, I think we're like 96, 97, maybe even 98.
While you're talking department news, I'll try and work it out.
Cool.
How about that?
No worries.
Shall we do a bit of department news, Steve?
Straight in.
Oh, let's
All right.
do it.
We'll
live
catch
life.
up with other things later.
Yeah. Well, it's with department.
Yeah.
We're catching up with the department. We are
Nice.
the department, Steve.
So, breaking news. Well, it's no breaking news.
What? I don't have a breaking news sound effect. Sorry.
No.
Actually, this is the best one I can come up with.
Nice.
There you
go. Our
breaking news klaxon.
Our YouTube feature was replaced for a special article. Somebody joined the department.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So that happened.
Yeah.
They may or may not be on the pod. They're actually mentioned quite a lot, this person. Yeah, so obviously,
Is this like 20 questions?
Even though... No.
Oh,
Well, we can kind of
we
see the newsletter on our screens, even though this is an audio platform. Anyway, yeah, so we thought we would give a bit of an introduction to Carolina. So even though it is a week late, so to let you settle in. Obviously, welcome via the pod, welcome from last week, and we thought we would just share a bit about Carolina, where she's from, some of the cool stuff that she's been doing, and some of the interests that she has as well. So check that out. If you have any common ground and want to irritate her in the edit suite with some of the similar interests, which is quite cool. Just to kind of chat about what is on that first page as well. Obviously, we do now have a permanent host as well, that being the very same, Carolina, which is cool. And then if James wouldn't mind scrolling up a bit, we actually had this newsletter to be somewhat absolutely bursting with opportunity. And by that, I kind of mean that I've had different teachers email me with opportunities. I've had teachers forwarding me opportunities from other members of the college about different opportunities. Like, for example, UEA have a documentary editing tutorial that was actually, unfortunately, quite short notice. It was actually the day that the newsletter came out, which was that Monday. But I heard Dan actually chimed in while he was on public transport, which was quite cool to just kind of see how it was going, and said it was actually really beneficial. In future reference, if you are listening to this and you are like, oh, opportunities on the newsletter, you will notice if you open that one in your email where it says click here to sign up, that is a hyperlink. You click that, it will take you to the opportunity to allow you to sign up, which is cool. Now, you're probably seeing it quite a lot as well. Adobe is available to use at home. The reason that this kind of loops back every kind of 6 weeks and sits there pretty much for like 2 or 3 weeks. It's not because we're lazy as newsletter editors and chiefs. It's because the cohort changes each half term. So last term, media students, they might check out the newsletter a bit more while they're doing their coursework, and they can see how Adobe is available to use at home. Shout out to Molly, actually, because Molly came and spoke to me today and was like, I'm installing Adobe on my laptop, and I'm using the newsletters walkthrough, which proves that it's still being used, which is great. So yeah, that kind of works around quite nicely. If you don't mind scrolling down a little bit more, there's a few more things just to chat about. This one actually hasn't materialized yet, so it's something definitely worth signing up for. A familiar place for somebody on the podcast. UCA are offering a portfolio boot camp, which is quite cool. And it looks like a really cool thing. So one of the things we do somewhat offer it a little bit within the department, i.e. F6 and sometimes the technicians do run very small workshops near the end of the year to allow students...
Where we have time.
Yeah, to allow some students to kind of put together something. So they have like a website and a show reel to a very basic degree. To kind of have some form of ammunition as and when they leave and graduate. I think this portfolio bootcamp is going to be in a bit more detail and kind of give you a few more options about, putting these things together in a cohesive way to have a cool, portfolio. Which is great, especially they're doing this now, as I've been very much brought to my attention that a lot of students, especially going to creative universities, they are being requested show reels, portfolios, etc., when through no fault of their own, like for example, if a film studies student who maybe has joined F6 for whatever reason, they won't really have much under their belt because a lot of the time they'll do theory in their first year. So it's just a case of kind of fast tracking, getting something together, even if it's a 45-second show reel. Could be something to look into. And then SpringPod have put together another bit of work experience, which is quite cool. It's virtual, but it's kind of gives you a bit of an insight into what the industry would actually look like, complete some real work with assignments, which would be really, really cool. And just doing these little opportunities are going to give students more, and they use the word ammunition again, to have their CV, have their portfolio, have their name higher up the list in terms of applications. These little things, as savage as it sounds, the rep meeting, Dan said something similar. Savage as it sounds, a lot of students are getting up and down the country are getting grades in similar subjects. You know, everyone's going to be getting grades. It's these little additional things that you can do while in education that are going to help you stand out. The extracurricular stuff, the work experience you've signed up for, the extra stuff you've just made in your own time through no pressure or assignment from from us. That's the thing that's going to make people go, oh, I like this person. They've got a passion for it, and it will help you go a bit higher up the list. And then the last thing, to be fair, the French Dispatch is the film this week. Was not all that set on the header, if I'm honest. I put it together myself, as no one else put it together. But I think it was a tough one, because if you scroll right to the bottom, it's very much an artist illustration. That's what the entire poster was made from, and getting that font together was not the easiest. So I improvised a little bit, but just know that they'll be better next week. All right. I was going to ask you, James, seeing as it is somewhat your realm, if you want to kind of bring the attention of the page 2 article.
So I'm assuming you're talking about the hashtag Protect Student Choice.
Absolutely.
So essentially, the government, in their infinite wisdom, the joys that they are, want to potentially change the vocational subjects, that's all CTECs and all BTEC qualifications, and transfer them to what are called T-levels, which are kind of technical A-levels. So a kind of similar equivalent, but you don't get choice. So you just pick one T-level, and that would be your program of study. So, for instance, you would do what would be a triple, essentially. So you'd be like doing a triple business or a triple media or a triple something else, but you wouldn't have any extra choice of picking a sort of varied program of study that like you do here at the moment. So what we'd love you to do, obviously if you are a vocational student, this probably affects you in some way because you know the course a bit better, but there's a campaign to fill in on I think it's one of the parliamentary petitions to get it spoken about in Parliament at some point soon, but what it's basically meaning is that all the funding for BTECs and CTECs will be scrapped in, I think it's like something like 2023, yeah. Which it's only a year and a half away, if that. It's quite close. And obviously we don't want that because we do BTECs and CTECs, and please don't remove my job. I quite like it. So it's a case of, if you sign up to this position, you're kind of agreeing that the government's idea is a bit silly and they should probably stick with what they do and give students like you the choice to pick a varied program of study. How would you feel if you could only do sociology for 3 lessons a week, for instance, and you're not allowed to do your business, or you're not allowed to study your extra language or English or whatever it might be? So it's the Protect Student Choice because it allows you the choice to pick a nice varied program.
I think it's one of those things. It's an interesting one to talk about, especially I know you've got more affiliation. Yes, me and Carolina have affiliation because obviously we look after the subjects that run it. But it's very much the thing that I appreciated as a student at college was, yes, I did media, film, photography, but I also did BTEC sport as well. And that was quite nice just to kind of keep my options open in case media and film didn't materialise. Because
I did a BTEC in IT.
Yeah, exactly.
Long time ago.
A lot of the time, students are not 100% sure what avenue they want to go down, and you'll find there's probably quite a large percentage of students where all 3 of their courses are very diverse. And then that's what university's for, in my opinion, to then focus on that specific thing that a T-level would essentially offer at an earlier age. Yeah. If you know what I mean? So it's like, the student choice element is a lot of students, like, they'll do business, they'll do maths, then they might do media, because they want to kind of keep their options open and keep quite broad. And then in that 2 years, they can go, right, I can either go into an apprenticeship or something like that, which is obviously more focused, or they could go to university and do that focused subject. I feel like college is a perfect kind of place to not do your English, maths, science, then you do like history, geography, PE, all that stuff at GCSE level, where you do everything. it's just that kind of little middle ground to kind of allow you to experiment with what you want to pick and then focus on it solely at university. It's such a good step, and taking that step away it just doesn't seem smart. I don't know, in my opinion, potentially.
For me, college, obviously, I'm very strange to how I got to where I am now. So I didn't do media or film at A level at all, or any kind of vocational equivalent, because I'm strange, and I did physics, electronics, maths, and IT. IT being a BTEC, the other three being A levels. Secretly, I'm clever, and it was. So then that was my kind of broad, because I knew roughly where I wanted to go initially. I wanted to do electronic engineering or work with NASA or ESA. I wanted to do something with space because I love space. But that obviously didn't materialise at A level, at university, because I couldn't do the physics course I wanted because my maths wasn't good enough. Damn you, maths paper. Unit 4 Core 4 kills me. Gruesome thing. So I couldn't do that, so I came to my second choice, which is doing computer science, which was another route I could get there. Hated every single minute of it. Why the hell did I pick that course? Then abandoned ship, and then went, I do media, and then just did that. So it's not the end of the world. So you can be someone like me who's got a very strange collection of A levels and then end up in a career in the sort of media and film biz, because I worked with radio stations for a bit before I came here.
My
did
brother
all sorts here and there.
Perfect example. He did at college. He did performing arts, history, and media, and now he's probably one of the most successful graphic designers I've ever seen, which is great. And that graphic
he never
design,
did graphics.
Yeah, didn't do graphics, didn't do art, didn't do anything like that. And the dude is nuts with a tablet.
Yes,
I was going to say with a sketchbook, but no, he's all digital, and it's absolutely phenomenal.
So so supporting something like this campaign is really good if you agree that choice is a good thing.
I just feel like you're taking away that middle kind of step in somebody's kind of journey of, it's the first time they get to really choose what they want to do. I know in GCSE you get to pick a little bit, but still
it's like history or geography.
It's still not as specialised as you'd want it to do, and you can't focus on them. And I feel like you're kind of defeating the point of university then as well. Like, if I'm going to do a T level, there's no point going to uni, because then I might as well spend 5 years doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe even longer.
I might get bored of doing the same thing for 6 years.
Yeah, it's an interesting way. It threatens the higher education as well, which is weird, or further education, I can't remember which one it is.
Seems daft to me.
Yeah, I just don't think it's been well thought out. I think you just kind of think.
What's the situation in Portugal, Carolina? What kind of thing do you do 16 to 18?
I didn't want to interrupt, but I kind of did a T level. Because for us it's a bit different. College is 3 years, and we kind of choose a course. I'm a little bit of a different example because I went to a specific arts school, so you could. It was quite different from the regular program of college. So, but regardless, you would choose a course, so humanities or visual arts or science and technology, and you would kind of do maths and science and whatever if that's your course. So your A levels would essentially be chosen for you depending on the course that you choose.
Wow.
My example was I went to a technical college, specific thing, and I guess I did a T levels in media, so animation, photography, and then film, and then specialized in film.
Interesting. That's
so
quite cool.
For someone,
how did you find that?
I mean, I loved it. It was the best thing ever, and I suppose that it can get very in depth, 50-50 theory and practice within all of those things. So animation, photography, and film, and then I guess for someone that has their mind set.
Yeah.
But
perfect.
The thing is, obviously, you have to have the option to do both.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of one. But if you're yes, this is what I'm doing, it's the best thing.
Because within that, you're kind of doing 3 subjects, aren't you? You're doing an animation course, you're doing a photography one, and you're doing a film one.
Yeah.
So you're you have that choice, but then you're kind of limited, because once you're in that avenue, you're stuck doing those 3, aren't you?
Well,
and obviously
you say
can
that,
specialize
but then
to do
in
one.
uni, I went to fine art, but then I already knew video, so I could apply all of that into fine art. So it's interesting.
It has its pros and cons, certainly.
Indeed, a balanced argument we've had.
I'm somewhat similar in the context of I always knew cameras is what I wanted to get into, which is why I was I'll take photography. I think
cameras.
I think it's more I sympathise with those students who have finished school and they're not sure where they want to go, and they want to try a few things and hope inspiration hits them.
Oh, of course.
So yeah, it is such an interesting one. I mean, yeah. I think the concept of allowing a student to take on something like a T-level isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think it's the scrapping of the B-Techs and C-Techs. And the option of picking multiple things is the issue there. Because we have students who do C-Tech and film. So in theory, they're taking what is the equivalent of what a T-level would be kind of doing anyway. But they pick that. That's the interesting point, is they've picked that. Which you're right. I think at least Carolina and I can agree we would have done somewhat the same if those options were available now. But
if I could rewind now, I would 100% do something photography based all day. Something photography, something sound, something in the middle.
So it's an interesting one. I'm curious to see how it materializes. I don't know if there is room for bending that and kind of not scrapping one for another, and seeing how potentially the concept of a T-level could be brought in rather than having other things essentially scrapped.
Because T-levels already exist at some institutions, but they're still dwarfed by the amount of students that do B-Techs and C-Techs. Because
that's the thing, at that age, not everybody, more so I believe, aren't 100% sure what avenue they want to go down, or industry for an example. So I'd be curious to see how it materialises.
Otherwise, I've got to swap up on teaching T-levels.
I'd be very curious to hear some student thoughts, if I'm honest.
Yeah,
because you guys are experiencing it. You never know. There might be a few people that would be like, I vibe with this, because I want to go into media and film. So if a media and film T-level existed, all right. Other people might be like, no, I do business as well. Like if you're meaning I can't do business, or I know. The interesting thing is, I love about this F6 group that we've got going on. Is every student, I think we've got maybe out of the 24, I think 18 or 19 of them do a very obscure subject that contrasts media and film, maths, psychology. Yes, one does photography, another one does history, another one does PE, and it's like, that's a majority of my F6 enrichment versus the odd one or two, which is interesting, very interesting. And I asked them all why, and they're like, some people, for example, they want to get into psychology to then have that link in with whatever they want to get into within media and film. Obviously, photography works in quite well with that. Business is a really cool one to kind of link with that, because then they can start their own media and film business. How much would business be talked about if there was, for example, a T-level in our industry? It's so interesting. Maths, if somebody wants to become a focus puller or something like that, the maths in that is actually quite overwhelming, if I'm honest. Say, for example, someone wanted to take media, as I joke with you all the time, you look like the guy at Toy Story fixing Woody. But say, for example, someone wanted to get into camera maintenance, they would need maths and stuff like that. I know it's quite niche, but it's an example.
Very steady hand.
It's an example there, isn't it? Because they'll know how the tech works. They've done maths and maybe physics, or I don't know, a DT subject.
You might without something, might need a bit of graphics to obviously design like layout diagrams for how a lens works.
So it's such an interesting conversation. Lens That's why I think if it did get to Parliament, I think I'd be so interested to see how the suits would tackle that on a business level versus people actually
on the ground.
Who understand it's not about the money at the end of the day. So it's crazy.
But if you want to support it, I would highly recommend you do. The partition link is on Steve's newsletter, so click on it, follow it through. You only have to sign up with an email, nothing more, nothing less. You don't get spam, so that's always good.
All good.
Nice. Shall we? Because I know, Carolina, you mentioned to me off air that you wanted to bring a new feature to the pod at some point. Would you like to bring that in next week?
I can bring it next week. I can talk about it now if you want. I mean,
because I have no sound effects prepared.
Oh, God.
But give us a teaser. Give us a teaser for next week. What are you planning to bring to our pod?
So I thought it would be nice to have a segment, because we have music and then we have like films and series that we've been watching, and then I thought I could bring like a video artist of the week, like, or a like within the context of like fine art, video that is made to be seen in a gallery, or like within video, because like with the gallery it incorporates space around it and like the spectator, so it's like completely different type of media.
It spreads from the convention of a screen.
Yeah, that's it.
I like
so
that.
It's like totally different from what, like, I suppose the students learn about here, and I thought that it would be interesting because there might be they might be interested in that. So
Broaden the
yeah,
horizon. I like that.
Yeah,
We've got quite a few animators this year, actually, which I'm quite happy about.
Again, like I feel like we're going back to the same argument. Graphic students, photography students, textile students, fine art students that we have that do media and film as well is crazy. So that'd be very cool.
But yes, let me know what you want to call it, and I will make you a jingle. Yeah. I don't know what it will sound like, but we'll come up with something, and it will sound dope.
I thought to just call it like, what on earth did I just watch? Like, because that's the vibe when you like,
just sat there like, what on earth did I just watch?
Yeah, because isn't that what you think when you look at some crazy experimental art
Tate Modern does that to me sometimes. Where I just kind of look at that going, I get it, but I don't get it. But I'm intrigued
on the screen, Carolina.
Ooh, be the space.
Be the space, yeah.
Well, I like it. We'll brainstorm
about that.
Brainstorm some ideas. We'll come up with something. But yeah, that is coming up starting next week.
Yes.
Whoop whoop. So, with that in mind, shall we talk about something that does fill some space? Some music.
Yes.
That was a really tenuous link, but I'm making it work. I'm holding on for dear life. So let's do a little bit of tracks of the week. So hastily filling these in because I've not had a chance to actually write them in, but I had them already prepared on my own sub-personal Spotify playlist. Are you trying to read what they are? Well, one of them's got a really interesting name for a band. It's hilarious. So the first one is one that's doing the rounds on Radio 1 at the moment, but I heard it and went, yes, I approve this song. Please give it to me more. So it's by an artist called Alfie Templeman. He's
Templeman or Tempeman?
Oh, Templeman. I think that's
what I was looking at.
I think that's the monitor being terrible.
Oh, right.
If I zoom in somewhat, it might be easier.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Tempeman would have been funny. That's what I was looking
Alfie
at.
Alfie Tempeman. So it's Alfie Templeman.
Nice.
No, a man of the temples. And it's one called 3D Feelings. I don't know what a 3D feeling would be. Maybe it's this song.
That sounds like an art installation.
Oh, 3D Feelings.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, by Carolina Silva.
Oh, my God.
I'm just trying to think what that would look like.
Watch this space. In a year's time, we'll have a live art installation somewhere in the department that changes on a weekly basis. That'd be amazing.
Talking of that, total massive segue. We had a student about 6 years ago get two. He had a projector. He had two bits of like kind of cloth, kind of like lined up with each other. Managed to line the projector up so a tree matched the line of the first one. So it looked like when the person was walking, they walked behind the tree. Absolute genius.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was a really experimental film, really quite cool. If I can find it, I'll show it to you tomorrow, Carolina.
I love for that.
But it was really well done, actually. I was surprised. Guess who the teacher was? Lover of experimental film.
There are many come to mind.
Jane Thomas.
Yeah, I thought that was my top answer.
Top answer. I need that.
Our survey said.
So that's total segue there. But anyways, so 3D Feelings, a new art installation by Alfie Templeman, or Tempeman, his artistic name.
Nice.
So that is a really nice kind of upbeat poppy song. It's just really good. I liked it. Right. The second one, though, which has probably one of the best band names I've seen for some time, Bored of My Grandma's House.
Bomg. B-O-M-G-H.
Bomg.
Nice.
So yeah, Bored of My Grandma's House is the band, and the song is called Skin. I don't think there's anything to do with skin in the song. It's kind of more indie, quite chilled out, similar to just trying to think, kind of similar a bit to London Grammar, but not as electronica, bit more indie, but that kind of mellow vibe.
I feel like somebody's going to eventually make like a bingo game with a podcast.
What? How many times I say vibe? Mellow?
Vibe or the song's very indie. I hear that every week.
Should I just clip myself?
Yeah. How many times in the pod have you ever said quite indie? I mean, we have a whole podcast, indie poppy summer vibe or something like that.
Yes, that is the exact name,
funny.
Steve.
I keep hearing it going, hey, another indie song.
I like indie, all right.
No, it's good. It's good. Don't get me wrong.
The
amount of songs I've saved from you suggesting is quite absurd.
I will happily expand to other genres. Just let me know.
No.
Where would you like me to go?
I'd be curious.
To
see if you could get that would fit and wouldn't be like a what's this? If you could get something classical in.
Classical.
Yeah. See if you can get a hybrid genre in there somewhere.
Oh, okay.
That involves some form of classical.
All right.
curious.
All right,
see if
so
you
we've
can
got
get me to save it.
A classical choice from Steve. Carolina, any shouts from you? What shall I find that isn't indie?
Can I say foreigner music? Like like find me a Brazilian tune.
Brazilian tune
that I don't know.
I can do you Brazilian tune that you don't know.
Yes.
Oh, that's tough.
But like good, not like those trashy ones. You know what I mean?
Thing
So
is,
it's got to be good but not trash.
Yeah, and
but you need to not
that's
know it.
ice to walk on
Nice.
because you might go, "This is amazing," and
Carolina's like,
"No, this is one of the trashy ones.
Oh my god!
Turn it off."
The lyrics are basically saying literally walk on the beach and nothing more.
You can do it.
No, this is the Brazilian Jedward. Stop.
It's Boyzone.
I was thinking, who can I say that won't offend people?
It's Boyzone, but from Brazil.
Oh no.
I've got ideas in mind if I went east, like to Japan or South Korea. I've got
an easy one though.
No, I've got some Japanese stuff that I quite like. Okay. There you go. I could go that way.
Nah.
Not gone west. All right. So something Brazilian. And something Brazilian that Carolina doesn't know, but it's still good, but not rubbish. And
something hybrids with classical.
Hybrid classical. All right, I will do my best for next week. That is a guarantee. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah,
I'm gonna struggle.
We believe in you.
You believe in me? Oh,
Yeah,
thanks.
we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I'm curious.
I will do my best. I'll see what I can conjure up. So. Those songs will obviously be on our Spotify playlist, which you can find on Spotify. The ones I've added this week, which are obviously that great indie vibe, will of course be on the Where's My KitBag Spotify playlist, oddly enough, on Spotify. There is a link in the description, so go and check it out. Shall we do a bit of what have we been watching?
Sure.
Yes. Probably my favourite sound effect because it's been there since the start.
It has.
Yeah. Along with the jingle. I do love the jingle.
Yeah. I heard the jingle on an ad, which was weird.
Oh.
It's somewhat royalty-free music.
How
and
dare,
I was like, what is going on
they?
here? It was like an ad for like coffee or something, but it was like a very niche brand.
Ew.
I was like,
How
on
dare they?
Instagram as well.
Ooh.
It was weird.
How dare they steal our music?
Yeah. Didn't
Curses.
feel right.
How dare they steal our
They didn't get my
unstolen
business,
music?
if that helps.
Plagiarism.
They paid for me to be seen that video, and it did the opposite. I reported it. No, I'm joking. I didn't.
Copyright infringement. Where's my KitBag podcast? Shall I start us off today?
Yeah.
I've started watching one thing which I've been meaning to watch forever, but just haven't found time. Young Sheldon.
Nice. It's on Netflix now, isn't it?
It is indeed. The first 3 seasons are.
Wow.
So it's the prequel series to obviously the Big Bang Theory. Obviously, I'd say global successive Big Bang Theory. And it's basically the story of Sheldon when he was younger, growing up in Texas as I think 6, 7, 8 year old. But apparently through the seasons he ages very quickly. So
really?
now I think they're in season 5 or 4. Obviously there's only 3 on Netflix. He is quite tall now. Apparently, according to his little, but he's quite sweet and adorable because he's
the
like
same
7.
Actor.
Yes.
Wow. So he just gets older, basically.
Yeah, he just
Wow,
gets
that's quite
older. But you occasionally get Jim Parsons, obviously the voice of the actor of Sheldon Cooper, doing some voiceover work, just kind of like the inner monologue of his head. It's just quite adorable and cute, really.
Okay.
You meet his Mima. You see his sister. His sister, I think, is the best character.
It's not the same actress that plays Sheldon's mum in Big Bang Theory, is it?
I don't think so. I can't remember.
It's quite iconic, so I think you.
Maybe. I don't know. I can't honestly
Google.
remember. To Professor Internet. So it's really just quite nice and cute. Actually, it's just quite sweet because he's just like, oh, Sheldon, you nut, and he's like just started in like high school and he's like 8 or something, and he's just like coming out with all this obviously all the kind of science and stuff that he does. And one of the most recent episodes I saw was the one where he kind of challenges a guy from NASA and basically says, why don't you do your rockets like this and recycle them? And the guy's like, no, here's a NASA patch. And then Sheldon goes out of his way to kind of prove him wrong and get an apology, which is a great episode. I think it's one of the best so far, and I've only seen like 8, so top work. Steve, have you found it out? Are they the same actress?
They're different.
They are different.
There is a photo of both of them together, though.
Interesting. Do they look quite similar?
No.
Well, that was a failure. But yeah, I think that's it. That's all I've been watching. Young Sheldon. It's quite good. Would recommend. It's on Netflix. Give it a whirl. If you like The Big Bang Theory, you will like this. I think is the easiest answer to
Okay,
go with.
that's good. Because I've not seen any of Young Sheldon, but I think I quite enjoy it. Because I am a bit of a sucker for Big Bang Theory, despite all the canned laughter and all the hate it gets.
There is zero canned laughter.
Interesting.
Yeah, there is
so
none
it's
at all.
Different style.
Yeah, totally different style. Basically, the laughter is all generated by Missy, Sheldon's sister, who at the same age as Sheldon is just so sassy. It's hilarious. But yeah, no, it's great fun. Would definitely give it a whirl, especially if you've seen Big Bang Theory.
Cool.
Nice. Who wants to go next?
Would you like to go next?
I guess. Well, I haven't really been watching anything.
We get those weeks. We do get those
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
I'm the
Dry
same.
week.
I've only watched one thing.
Yeah, but I'm hoping tomorrow to go see Spencer in the cinema.
Ooh.
So it did it premiere last week? Is that how when you say when a movie comes out? It came out last week. Yeah. So it's about Diana, and it's like played by Kristen Stewart, which I was like, what the hell? Because Kristen Stewart only has like one facial expression, and we all know. But people have been saying that she's really good in this film. So I'm like super curious, and I've read an article that said that this movie was a bit surrealist, and I was like, that is a very strong word to use in a movie like
with
this.
Diana.
I know. That's it. So it seems like it's very unconventionally filmed, and it's all set in like one Christmas when the like Harry and whatever William, they're still quite young, so she's I don't know. It's strange. It intrigues me.
Have you watched The Crown?
Yes, I love The Crown.
Okay, so I've not seen The Crown.
Totally different, not the same Diana style, because I don't think it matters so much that she mimics exactly Diana. Like that's what people have been saying. Like it's not an exact like representation, but it still feels very real, even though it's fiction.
Inspired by, more so than
very
based on.
Strange. So I'm curious about what is going on there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Don't know what to say. I haven't seen
may
it.
or may not feature on the newsletter next week. We'll have to find out.
Oh. Well, I look forward to your review next week. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued what you think. Is it good? Is it bad? No one knows.
Mine, unfortunately, is just more of a snowball from last week.
What did you watch?
Just been watching. We're on to season 3 now of Schitt's Creek.
Nice.
The place, not the name, of course. The profanity of word. It's so good. Now characters have started to develop that I can see, as bad as it sounds, I can see why people could lose interest in the first few episodes, because it's quite similar in the context. I know they're completely different things. Very Sons of Anarchy, of where it's kind of like, you'll learn the characters if you stick with this, but we're not going to go, this is this person, this is this person. It's kind of like the characters will just join the family without much introduction, obviously, unless they meet the characters face to face, but it's not that type of thing. I just love how it seems to it's one of those American shows that could have easily gone down that kind of American sitcom, cheesy slapstick comedy. But if anything, it's almost like it's tailored towards a British dry humor audience.
Does it have canned laughter?
No.
Oh, good.
None of that.
Good.
And yes, the characters are somewhat hyperbolic in their stereotypes. Yes, I get that. But the themes they're subtle, but they're done in such a way that they're really funny. Like it's dry, stereotypically British humor, where a lot of the time they're more in jokes or stuff like that, or they're very it's just the drier kind of more realism type of humor, rather than somebody standing on a rake and hitting them on the nose like that. That's the kind of, we're going to make you laugh by being
slapstick.
Extreme American comedy, which sometimes people have got a bit of a taste for, but this I just don't think has that. And I was warned positively that it's such a beautiful coming of age for all the family across the episodes, and already in season 3 is starting to really see that. And it's really, really good. I'm really, really enjoying it. It's really funny. It's one of those things we get home, do our normal chores that we're doing. We're like, sweet, few episodes of Schitt's Creek before bed. Yep, cool, rinse and repeat, and that's all we've been doing. So on season 1 last week, and we're already, I think, we're either at the end of season 2 or dipping into season 3. Though I will admit, season finales are not a thing in that show. We didn't know we were even in season 2. Like, it's one of those ones that just keeps going.
On,
It's I quite like, to be fair. I've not got no problem with that whatsoever, which is cool. I'm very much enjoying it. It's good, and I hope it doesn't end.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Sweet. Well, that summarises a nice bit of what we've been watching. and a nice end to our podcast.
Absolutely.
Sweet. So thank you very much for listening to the good old Where's My Kit Bag podcast. If you want to follow us on the old social medias that Carolina has now taken over, that's why you're actually getting posts.
Yeah, props for that. That's coming together well.
Carolina is queen of the social media. What can they...
Fourth or fifth time's the charm in terms of technicians.
Yeah.
You tried, I tried, Katrina tried, Will tried, and no one...
And now we have found the key.
Yep, perfect.
And her name is Carolina. What's our handle, Carolina? What can they do if they want to get in touch and follow us?
Oh God, what is the handle? Oh,
nice.
Oh my God.
I put her on the spot.
The key of social media.
Oh, the key is turning.
F6
Yes.
Yep.
Media film.
That's
yes.
it.
And
Wow.
F6 Media Film.
Love that.
So yeah, get in touch with us on that as well. We do have a Twitter. Sometimes we use it. Mainly the gram.
Is struggling, isn't it?
Yeah, mainly the gram. The gram is where it's at.
Because there's a lot
we said that in sync. That was really weird.
Nice.
10 out of 10.
Nice.
Nice.
We're getting a lot of interaction from other departments as well, because I think there's been a few change of guards around the department.
Yeah,
so,
photography's changed their technician.
There's a few other ones, and the LRC have been posting like crazy, which is awesome. I don't think they've had a change at all, but social media is getting a boom in the college, which is great.
Nice.
So
We're all trying to keep up with the kids.
Yeah.
Go.
Can you just scroll up for me 1 second?
Yes.
Just on the thing. Just to see if said student gets all the way to the end of the episode. Would you like to shout them out?
Yes. So me and Carolina were in the edit suite the other day chatting to a student, and they were just like, I listen to the pod. Can I have a shout out? The answer is yes, you can, Catherine Field. You've had a shout out.
First shout out of the year.
Exactly. I'm trying to find a good enough sound effect that will work with it. Let's go with... There we go. Some crowd applause.
Ask and you shall receive.
Yes.
But did she get to the end of the episode? I guess we'll find out.
We'll never know.
Well, I guess she'll go thanks for the shout out.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Well, we'll hope so.
Yeah.
So maybe next week, because obviously this comes out on Friday morning usually when I edit it down, period 1. So if you would like a shout out, give us a shout, literally, and we will shout you out on this instead, which you can obviously listen to on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts. You can listen to Spotify podcasts as well, and any other good podcasting app, and also YouTube on the specific Where's My Kit Bag YouTube page. Feel free to subscribe to see all the episodes on there for your listening and sometimes video watching pleasure. That's about it.
We are going to be getting some guests soon.
Yes, we are.
One is already booked in, but we're looking to get a few.
You know what?
ones.
That will be episode 99 because I've worked today's episode 97.
Wow. We should push him back a week.
Or do we try and get Dan or someone in for like episode 100?
We should try and get a lot of people for the 100th episode.
Or get them to record stuff for it if they can't physically be here.
It's a big 100 episodes. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I wonder how much time together that is. I'd be very interested. We should do, honest. You can actually figure that out.
Yeah, I can.
I was going to say you could do a sweepstake of some kind.
Well, I don't know off the top of my head. I can have a good guess. And we can find the right answer.
I reckon in terms of minutes, I reckon, I don't know, well over 1,000.
1,000 minutes?
Yeah, I reckon. 100 episodes, over 1,000 minutes.
Oh, I think well over that.
Well over?
Yeah. Well, think about it.
It's going to be under 1,000 minutes. Then.
Is it?
Yeah, I reckon.
So you're going under 1,000. I'm going over 1,000.
Well, oh my God, it's going to be well over. Of course, it's going to be over 1,000.
Yeah.
No, it won't. No, it won't. Because 10 hours is 60 minutes. Not every episode is an hour long.
10 hours is 60 minutes. You mean 1 hour is 60
1 hour is 60. Oh my God.
10 hours is 600 minutes.
Yeah, mate, it's going to be like 10,000 is where I was at. This is why I should have taken maths as one of my options. # keep student choice.
# maths for life.
It's going to be around 10,000 then. It's not going to be 1,000.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's going to be a lot, innit?
Absolutely nuts.
Yeah. So, if you want to guess how many minutes there have been total podcasts up to, this episode is episode 97, because I had to work it out, then, does that include the pilot, though?
Of course.
Yeah, but the pilot I named as 00.
So we're on 98. So the guest would be on episode 100.
Wait. Oh, my days. No, because I did some as double episodes, but there were only kind of one. I'll have to work it out. This could be episode 100, I don't know. Wait.
I'm so confused.
This is
double episodes.
Yeah, so sometimes we used to do like episode 1 and 2 together because it was longer, so I just named it as two things. I don't know why, Because I'm an idiot.
I don't know why I've gone with that. I'm a bit confused.
As am I. So I used to label them. Oh, come on, more tracks. Load up for me. Yeah, so episode 7, episode 8. So there's 2 in 1. Episode 1 and 2. Oh my god, this could be... Well, it's not upload. Are we going by uploads or actual physical episode?
Well, even if it is episode 7 and 8, we still would have followed tracks, so we're on episode 97.
Yeah. We are on episode 97.
Yeah. Even though we might have uploaded, let's say, 94 times. We've uploaded 97... No, we would have uploaded less, but we have 97 episodes. Yeah, so we've got 3 more episodes, even if they've batched up.
Actually, no, I am wrong, because we did have an episode 00, the pilot.
Yeah, so
that doesn't count.
98.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our guest will be on episode 100.
Why?
It will be.
Well, no, because even though you've uploaded 7 and 8 as one episode, we are still on episode 97, even though we may have uploaded 95 times. If 1 and 2 are together and 7 and 8 are
But then the pilot is like 00.
Yeah.
So it's technically 1.
Yeah.
And everything else.
Push everything down, we're on 98.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, actually, I completely understand.
Next week is 99.
Yes.
And then I guess we'll be on
episode
technically
100.
Episode 100, although it'll be numbered 99.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Do I have to go through and rename everything now?
No, it's fine.
Only for season 1, so I have to renumber.
Yeah. So it's episode 99 that's actually episode 100, which will be quite fun.
Yes.
That's so...
Very meta. That's so me, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were signing off.
Yeet.
Yote.
As the American man said, yeet. Anyway,
we will yote ourselves into the studio for the last episode, the next episode.
Fantastic. So we've been your technicians of the Sixth Form College Farmer. This has been the Where's My KitBag podcast. I've been James.
And Steve.
I've been Caroline.
And we will see you next week for another episode of the Where's My KitBag podcast. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.